sensational poulet, le perfect way. Cooking perfection on Weekend AM. Brought to you by De Dietrich.
Welcome back. Increasing numbers of Irish people are turning to a vegan diet. So this morning we've got something for any vegans or vegetarians or anyone who just wants a break from meat for one meal. Good idea.
Dean Diplock from the Radisson Blu Hotel joins us today. Morning, Dino.
Good morning, sir.
No meat, but no fear. This is going to be tasty.
Absolutely. It's all about flavour. We also have to put in some oil in this because we need the slidage with the beans and protein. So the recipe is obviously online.
In your favourite pot. I
my
love
favourite
that pot.
cast iron pot. This is just caramelised onion with the oil. So I've just taken a step quickly.
Did you dice it, Dean?
Very finely diced, yeah. Okay. The coconut milk, as I said, is in with water, as we said earlier, with some cinnamon, star anise, and some salt.
Smells amazing.
I've washed the basmati 3 times. This is a very important step that you wash the because you don't want the starch. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to cook this with the liquid. All right, obviously for time purposes, I have done it in advance.
Yeah.
But we're going to cook it in the liquid, and once the liquid evaporates, or as much of it is gone, and the cooked rice is just about cooked, we drain the residual juices off, put it back in the pot, put the lid on, and let it steam. So we're not washing any of the flavour away, which is important for that rice. We've gone to the effort of putting the coconut milk and all that in. Why would we wash it away?
Sure.
Okay, so we've caramelised the onions. In goes our ginger garlic. These are classic ingredients, the holy trinity in Indian cooking. Onion, ginger, garlic. We do want to cook that out for a little while.
That's very moist there. Did you add anything?
I put just a little water in it just to keep it wet during transport. It does discolour otherwise. It oxidizes, actually.
So if you were prepping earlier on, maybe a nice idea to put a drop of water in.
Just over it, or even a little bit of oil, just to keep it the same with your garlic. All right, so we cook that through, then go in our spices. So we have turmeric. This is half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of coriander. Now this is getting a little bit hot, so I'm just going to cool it with a little water. That's important. You don't want the spices to burn. So whenever you're making a curry, have some water on standby. Always just cool it down.
I've seen a lot of Indian chefs that when they're making their spices, putting their spices into their curry, they'll put the 3 spices into a bowl and
a little bit of water. Exactly, and then put it in. Exactly, it's just to cool it down. You don't want to burn the spices.
And it's not going to take away from the flavour with so much water.
Not at all. Not at all.
Those spices burn.
As you can see, it's evaporating all the time, all over me at the moment.
Is that curry powder?
That I've put in is a mild curry powder. Again, it's a leaf curry powder, so it's available in your local Indian store. We have 2 in Athlone, so I'm sure there's plenty in Dublin and around the country. Right, so that's our spices ready there. And this is a special ingredient. These are our curry leaves, okay? If you don't have curry leaves, you can use tangerine leaves, lime leaves, but this is a very important part. It really adds the flavour.
They're available.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Fresh from your Indian shop.
Is the taste strong if you were to take a full leaf in the mouth?
It's almost like a slightly citrusy taste to it, but a spicy citrusy taste. Okay, to that I'm now going to add my tomato. This is just tin chopped tomatoes, and we're going to cook that out for a little while. Now, for time purposes, again, I have pre-cooked the potato. Now, the potato I've chosen when we're doing a curry is slightly glassy potato, slightly waxy potato. These are just little baby potatoes that I've peeled. And the reason for that is you don't want the potato to fall apart. So if you're using a potato that you'd use for mash, it's going to fall apart and the whole thing's going to become stodgy. All you want is just to have a little bit of texture in the potato. It's another part of the dish that we're adding together.
Before you pop them in here?
I did in this case.
Could you put them in? You would put them in?
I would put them in now because, you know, it cooks into the sauce.
Yeah.
The sauce goes into it.
And it will thicken that sauce too, won't it?
Yes, it will.
That's bubbling away there, so it's on a high heat the whole time.
Just turning it down now as we speak.
Okay, so we turn it down and put the potatoes in.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to start bubbling otherwise all over the show. Okay. So, right, so in goes our potatoes. And at this point, we would close it up and let that tomato cook in, okay?
How long would the baby potatoes take if you hadn't parboiled them?
About 20, 25 minutes. Now, I've cut them in half. Obviously, they'll go a lot faster. All I've done there is I've literally just steamed them in advance. Now, depending on how spicy you like it,
be gentle
you can put the chilies. Now, I got these chilies in an Indian shop, so you can be guaranteed they're going to have some bite.
Holy moly, that's a lot of chili.
In goes our veg bouillon.
Which is stock.
Oh, your stock, yeah.
Your veg cube.
A bit of salt and then we mix that all in. Now, it is a little dry for me at the moment, so I'm going to add a little more water to it. Again, you just judge by eye. If you need to add more, you add. If you don't need to, you don't.
And
it's
it'll
as simple
keep
as that.
reducing, Dean, will it? So not
It
to
will.
worry if you
It'll-
add too much.
No, absolutely. And you can just pop the lid on and cook it away and off you go.
Okay.
Right.
Now, so we now would say our potatoes are already cooked. We're going to bring this back to heat again, and then we're going to add our beans. Now, you can use legumes like pinto beans, etc., that you've soaked overnight, but the cooking process is going to be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Tin beans, exactly the same thing.
And at this point, if you wanted to go the meat route, this is where you'd add your protein then.
Well, I would have added that right at the beginning or had it cooked already anyway
Right, okay.
to add to it. A lot of the
Chicken or prawns or something
you could
if you
have that pre-cooked and just put it
drop
in to
them in.
finish it.
Okay.
Absolutely,
But I
just
love
to
the
finish.
basic sauce
Gorgeous.
dish. And
Yeah,
then, as you
amazing.
say,
No,
add if
that's
you
where
want.
all the flavours, and this is important in vegan cooking and that type of thing. You want to add flavour
Yeah.
as much as you can.
And 3 types of beans then.
This is a 3-bean curry, so I have the red kidney bean.
Okay.
Again, I've just drained them straight out of the tin.
I
So
love
low
that.
maintenance, yeah.
Yeah.
Some cannellini beans or cannelloni beans.
Lovely.
Those go in. And then our butter beans. I love butter beans.
Oh, I do too.
Fabulous. Right.
Yeah.
So that goes in like so. Now, like all curries, they're best left overnight to marinate and then eat it the following day. So the one that we've done in advance, we've done exactly that, and you'll see the difference in the colour, the look, and the
texture.
texture and the taste of the thing.
Interesting.
Now, veganism and vegetarianism is very big at the moment. We as a hotel are committing to 20% of our front of house menus, our bar menu, etc.,
Wow.
to be vegan and vegetarian friendly.
commitment.
We're launching it closer to the end of this month. We're busy trialing recipes at the moment and finding what works and what doesn't. And all the information is available on our website or our Facebook page at Radisson Blu Athlone. And we're going to be the forerunners, basically, as a hotel group in this veganism
idea.
and vegetarian trend that is happening at the moment.
So have you popped coriander in there?
Just to finish it off, some
Okay.
fresh coriander. I'm going to let this...
If you don't have the time to do it the night before and you're cooking the day of, is it 20 minutes to let the beans heat up, or...?
The beans themselves, probably 10, 15 minutes. They're already pre-cooked, so all you're doing is
Yeah.
adding the
You're
flavour.
heating them.
The longest thing to cook is going to be the potato. Literally the longest
Let's
part.
get eating, chef.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
How's
stick a
our
lid
rice
on there.
looking, by the way? I'm really keen to see.
Well, that rice is going to take longer to cook than we've got, so we've made
Coconut
some
rice.
in it.
So that was
Exactly.
as easy as that. Just
as
pop it
simple
in,
as that.
drain it,
Drain
pop
it, put it back into the pot, put
Steam
the lid
it.
on it, and steam it, and that makes it
Just for
nice
a
and
couple of
fluffy.
minutes.
Just to dry it, yeah.
So you have
Literally.
tortillas here and
Well,
Here
a
you go,
wrap.
chef.
Those can be called tortillas. They're also roti,
Roti.
known as roti. So there is our curry now.
Mamma mia.
Looks gorgeous.
Right,
And the
so
potatoes, interestingly, as you said, have not disintegrated.
No, we want to hold the shape. We don't want it to fall apart
the
into
dish
a
up,
million.
chef?
No, I have a big spoon for that.
Of course you do, yeah.
I
Go ahead, chef.
have an
Dean mentioned earlier on the full recipe. All the details from today are up on our website. You can also check out the Radisson Blu Hotel in Athlone's Facebook page for upcoming events and demos. This looks divine. Thank you, Dean.
Can't
Very
wait to taste
tasty,
now.
very
After,
tasty.
after the break, a preview of the movie set to take over the multiplexes this summer. See you in a couple of minutes. Thank you,
Dig in.
chef.
Thank you.
Delish.
Amazing soufflé, le perfect way. Cooking perfection on Weekend AM. Brought to you by De Dietrich.